Shalom, it's the 22nd of May. And I would just like to touch on a verse that I just read again, just preparing for tonight. And it's James 4 verse 11 that says, "Do not speak evil of one another, brethren. He that speak evil of his brother and judges his brother speak against the law." And then it says, "And judge not the law, but if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge." So basically what this means is that in the context of what James is saying, he's using the Hebrew poetry concept of comparing one thing to another. So he compares a brother to the law, and the law basically comparing that to a person. So if you speak against your brother, you judge your brother. Now we've done a bit of discussion on that already. I'll touch on that again tonight. In the same way, if you speak against the Torah, you speak against a person and you judge the person who created the Torah as a foundation of authority, becoming the judge. So the function of a judge cannot exist without a premise or a foundation or a law. And a righteous judge will execute the law to the letter within the right balance, assessing the situation. So the judge indirectly become the person who represent the law. It's like the law embodied. So if you are a righteous judge, and there's only one righteous judge, that authority has been given to Yeshua by the Father. He is the judge. So if you speak against the law, the Torah, you're actually speaking against Yeshua, and you are judging him. Now when we look at the word mishpat, which is the Hebrew word for judgment or judgments, which is the legal term of that forms part of the Torah, the term that deals with the consequences of breaking any of the commandments. There's a verdict or a consequence as a result. Now, sometimes it's stoning, sometimes you're pushed out of the city boundary, sometimes you need to give back to someone what they lost, and so forth. So the execution of the consequences is known as mishpat. Now mishpat we looked at from 2 points of view. It starts with a mem and ends with a tet. Now tet represents the nachash, the serpent, and the mem represents the word, which is also Yeshua. He is the word. So we've got the two entities, the Mashiach and the anti-Mashiach, the chosen one of Yahweh and the opposer who want to push him out of the way because he lost his authority. And the one is trying to get in the place of another, so he can manifest himself as the Messiah, being the righteous judge. And I believe that the anti-Messiah, the Antichrist, will pose as the Messiah from a religious as well as a political viewpoint, executing judgment upon the earth, and the people will accept that. What the setting will be to allow that, I don't know, but this is just a theory which I make through the connection of these two letters. So speaking towards the left, you speak towards the tet, towards the nachash. There's venom and enchantment associated with that. The venom is basically representing lies, enchantments represent deception and confusion. If you speak towards the right, you speak towards the mem, you speak in line with the word of Yahweh and in line with the righteous judge and these judgments. And that is basically what Yeshua's authority is. So now we can see the two opposites. Now the Messiah, as I said earlier, has got the authority to become the judge. In the same way, the anti-Messiah will try to come in the place of the authority of the judge and execute judgment instead. But this will be from a fleshly, worldly point of view, pitched into a religious setting as well. Where Yeshua will come from a kingdom perspective, from a spiritual point of view, pitching from a spiritual perspective in line with Yahweh's word. Now, I don't want to be judged or ruled by the anti-Messiah. That's the other meaning of a judge. He's a ruler. Like Solomon was a judge. He was the one who basically led the people and execute judgments in order to rule them and help them to make the right decisions and help them to interpret the Torah and the intent of the Torah within the community. So in the same way, the anti-Messiah will come and work from a humanistic point of view, from a selfish elevation point of view, which is seated in pride, and that will basically be judgments that are evil. So that's where the evil speech, or the words of the serpent, speech of the serpent, comes from that idea. So in the same way, you can pull this back into James 4 verse 11. Do not speak against a brother. Do not speak against the Torah. Who will speak against a brother? Someone who's under the authority of the Nachash. Those who are enchanted by him. Who will speak against the Torah? Those who are under the authority of the Nachash, who are under his enchantments. Because of lies, twisting the word, twisting the scripture, let them tickle the ear, and it's all about the flesh, all about me, what I can get. It's me, I. And it's all to do with pride. The motive is also always pride and self-elevation. Where humility is totally the opposite. It is to let go, to die to the self, as Paul put it. It's to humble yourself. And that is basically where grace will flow abundantly to you. So I just want to underline this fact. If anybody say the Torah is abolished, it's stupid, it's ancient, it's whatever, superseded, replaced, whatever, it's the words from the serpent that judges the Torah and judges Yahweh, who is the ultimate judge through his son Yeshua Mashiach. So be careful what you say against the Torah, because you basically preach what James is underlining here. So that's all I want to share with you today. Just a thought that I thought about this morning, looking at James 4:11, and so we'll speak again tonight, and I hope you have a lovely day. Shalom.